Conflagration of the Dreamers, the first track. You got
Yep.
that little guitar slide in, and then bang, we're into it. It's a great starter. Was that always going to be the opener when you were putting stuff together?
Um, Not necessarily. I think like we had it. We had two or three tracks to pick from of what it was going to be and how it was going to kick off. We sort of waited till we basically got to the back end of the recording process, and Joe had a chance to tinker with it all, and then we could like really drop in and check the finished product. And I think out of all of that, once we heard Conflagration, it was that was a pretty good taster for things to come. We thought so. Yeah, so we slot that in as an opening track, and also have it as the first one to, I suppose, the first single to give people a little bit of a taster of what we're doing on Sins. So yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So I haven't had the lyrics in front of me yet. So is this one about burning the Christians? Like, what are we doing here?
It's actually a follow-up to Flash Furnace from Dead Speak.
Oh yeah.
So the original one on Flash Furnace is about a little boy who sets fire to his parents and then goes on to do that into his adult life. And I suppose this is just a catch up with him, what he's up to these days.
Yeah, cool.
Still setting people on fire and shit, while they're asleep. So his MO is he gets in there and straps them down and goes sleep, covers them in fuel and puts them on fire and all that sort of shit. So it's a spin off from that, and I got to a point with because the break obviously in between doing Never Enough Snuff and Dead Speak was like 20 years or close to. So it was I had a lot of material swimming around inside my head of like song ideas and whatever to work with. But when it came to Sins, I had a few that I'd already sort of like punched out and some things to play with, but I was sort of struggling a little bit, and I was talking to a friend of mine, Steve, and he's just like, why don't you do some sort of follow-ups to some earlier songs, like what's the Peeler up to these days? What's so and so up to? And I'm like, that's a good idea. So Conflagration was the follow-up to Flash Furnace, and then Deceased Estate is a follow-up to Humble Abode from the self-titled, or just a spin-off thereof anyway. So, but yeah, using the same idea, but like fleshing it out in a different way.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So track 2, the gory hole. What's the story there?
We were at rehearsals, and I don't know, we were shooting the shit because we always like just crack each other up and going on with like silly stories and whatever else too, and that term came up with, for whatever reason, talking about glory holes, as you do, as we do. And I was like, oh, the gory hole. And I'm like, oh, that's a good name for a song. I'm going to go home and write a song about it. So I got home that night and just went pow, 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 and smashed that one out really fast. It's about a giant insect that exists on the other side of a glory hole and, like, tears the genitals off men and uses their seed to create, like, a hybrid insect human thing to take over the world and shit. It's pretty but of course it's all about the ripping of genitals and the gore and all that sort of stuff, as I do.
Yeah,
so
cool.
but yeah, that's essentially what the story's about too. But it's a cracker of a track. That was one of the ones that I was like I'm and ahhing about, like, what should be the first or second single, but Conflagration first, and the second single is going to be Sins of the Father.
Yeah, cool.
I could get the title track in there.
Yeah, nice. Have you seen the film Glorious, where Ryan Cranton kind of, I was like, oh, that's
I had the gory hole already sort of like penned and stuff, and then I saw that and I was just like, fuck, that's like outrageously like one. But it wasn't actually from that. I just came up with it as a completely random idea. Rather than having sort of like a god, I just had like a giant.
That's cool.
Coincidental.
Yeah. Talking horror, are there any other, were there any horror films or novels that inspired songs on this album at all?
so much. I read extreme horror like exclusively, and have since a very young age, like as long as I can remember, probably. I'm going to say pre-teens. Early days with like King and Graham Masterton, James Herbert, things like that. These days it's all Christopher Triana, Aaron Beauregard, Angel Jalique, Matt Shaw, Ed Lee. It goes on and on and on, but it's so it's like reading, I don't know, probably a couple of books a month, something like that, and maybe more, maybe less, depends on what's going on in my life. But yeah, I churn through a lot, so it's always having that stimulus of extreme horror, like always rolling around in my head, and then I'll come up with a random idea, and then I'll take little snippets or ideas from things to sort of to flesh it out, for one of a better word. But it's yeah, a lot changed from like what the songs are when we actually get into the studio as well.
Yeah,
like I'll come in and go, okay, here's the song I've written, and Matt will look at it and go, nah, mate. Too wordy, too whatever. I'm like, all right. So he's like, right, we're going to chop out this, chop out that, put that back up there, and whatever else it is doing, but still trying to get some kind of story as well. So yeah, it's a little bit different of what ends up at the back end. Some songs are complete as they are, but others are like, not completely different, but like quite different, and they've got a lot of stuff edited out of them as well. So yeah.
Sins of the Father, the title track, the next single. Do you have the title of the album and all that image and everything in mind together at all? Yeah.
So it's when it came time to do the artwork, and if you're up for it, we'll have a little bit of a having the idea to work with photography as a medium, and having access to all the right people for special effects and photography and everything else that goes with it. It was a coming up with something else. So but our first port of call with it, I'll maybe go into this a little bit further, but we went and saw a guy called Larry who has a place called Scarecrow Studios, and had a look at some of the props that he had, and the prosthetic that's on the priest's chest of which my beautiful daughter is plunging the cross into, is the I really like that. I was like, wow, how can we work with this? And I went and sat down with and obviously thinking that was maybe potentially a little too gruesome for the for retail. I did the same thing as last time with Snuff, and came up with the secondary cover. Not that that's really a lot less gruesome, but it's I suppose slightly less gruesome than what the actual cover is. So but yes, Into the Father is about a killer priest who sacrifices children to he's masquerading as a priest essentially, but he's sacrificing kids to his dark gods. And the internal cover image of the one with my daughter shoving the crucifix into his heart is sort of like his hell's revenge, or a bit of his comeuppance for doing all the shit that he was doing and thinking he was appeasing these gods, and they're just like, no, mate.
That's
so,
cool.
Yeah, that's where all that came from.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah.
That's cool. I love how like cinematic it all kind of looks as well. Like
it's like there's a lot of time that's gone into it. There's 8 people involved in the whole process of putting that album cover together. So there's my friend Martin and my daughter, who are the actors on the cover, and then Larry from Scarecrow, Lee, who did all the special effects, Pauline on photography, Martin's wife Sally, who was like costume and a lot of behind the scenes stuff, which you'll see inside the album cover, so you can see how much work all went into it. And of course, Sal from Headrush Artworks, who did the cover art for our self-titled and Dead Speak and Snuff. So she's been there the whole time. So I couldn't do another album without having her involved. And she's just done a fucking killer job on this one. I really came through with the goods on doing all the post special effects, and myself, of course, as the art director through the whole thing, or creative direction, whatever you want to call it, bring the whole thing together. But yeah, we're yeah, super chuffed with the way it came out. It's being a massive fan of horror with films and collecting stuff over the years and everything too, and always being interested in special effects. To have the opportunity to put something like that together for an album cover was just amazing. It was really cool project to do, and we had a lot of fun with it too. But it's taken us months and months and months to pull that together. Yeah,
that's cool. Man's Best Friend, the fourth track, another furious one. Dave Haley's blasting on this one's like really intense. How'd the writing work on this album? Was it like drums first or riffs first or like all the above?
Matt came up, or Matt, who's done like 9 of the 10 tracks, and Rob did Last Right. So yeah, he would piece that together. Guitar over clicks, flick it over to Dave. Dave would then apply drums to it as the wizard that he is, and then it would sort of, I suppose, he'd chop and change a few things too, which Matt would have to go back and edit, and then it just goes across to us to Rob to learn the bass parts, and then for myself it was by the time I got the actual final structure of the songs and headed into the studio, and then Matt helped me a lot with placement of the vocals and working out what would go where and what he'd sort of envisaged of the parts where it would it would all sit. So that was a massive help for me. I mean, I think because like Matt and Dave are a little bit more new school and I'm more old school, so I have my ways of like I've always done things in the past too, and they're all like, nah, click back, and it's all going to be done like this, super tight and everything. So that was a little bit of a lesson for me in like changing the way that I I suppose the way that I like just approached doing the vocals in the studio in the first place too. But it was definitely worth it and really brought everything together really tight. So yeah, I'm chuffed with the way it came out.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. And Man's Best Friend, incidentally, too, is about a factory that like people up for pet food.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, cool. That's great. Last Right's got a bit of a different sound, yeah. You were saying, was it Rob wrote it? Is that right?
Yeah, Rob wrote that one and had as a track from many years ago. He'd been waiting to Abramelin came through with that one. That's just it's actually like one of my favourite songs on the album. It's like it's so good. Full just satanic rites, cracking open the doors of hell and bringing that forth to our plane of existence is essentially what that one's all about too. Yeah, but it's a very it's such an epic track. The way that it starts is like sort of just old school heavy metal, and then where it finishes is just ferocious. It's like wow. So yeah, that was that's probably the track I've listened to the album.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
You got some really raspy raw vocals on here as well. How'd the vocal cords hold up on this one? It sounds really good.
Yeah, thank you. Look, not too bad. It's I'm probably good for realistically in a session, because it's amazing how long it actually takes to get one song down. Like song goes for 5 minutes. I don't remember it being this long back in the day. Like, recording like, the EP or self-titled or any of the other like really early stuff, and just like going in, having several cracks at it. But doing the approach now where you can just sort of like bang out a sentence and then have to go back and change a few things, and can you redo that growl, and can you redo this? So a track can take anything up to like, I've had some tracks that I've like managed to smash out in like 40 minutes, and I've had other ones that have taken like an hour and a half. It's just like, do it again, do it again, do it again. And then always have like, 2 or 3 takes for each section, and then we'd go through and check it later and pick the best ones out of it. And, it was, so yeah, it's quite a process. So it would, like I'm good for like a few hours, and then like my throat's so it was, but my best friend was, it's not very heavy metal. People think I'm probably in there like, drinking the blood of virgins or something, but it was, it was honey and lemon tea hot to keep my throat coated and nice and warm too, so I can get that more really deep, raspy and gurgly sort of stuff going on without shutting my throat.
Yeah, that's cool.
Secret weapon.
Yeah. Pretty metal. That's good. That's good. Yeah. Shell of a Man. What's that one about?
Shell of a Man is, basically, as I suppose, written from the point of view of the victim and having like everything like pulled apart and flesh stripped off bones and the whole thing into essentially almost just like a head and a spinal cord with some internal organs and everything else stripped and ripped away, but like kept alive just for like the sheer agony of it all, and thus reduced to a shell of a man. All of them are like needless to say, with the way that I write it's gratuitous and pretty gross, but that's my thing.
Yeah, that's what we want. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a great guitar sound on this album. Joe Haley, David's brother's on there. Yeah, is that right?
Well, it's actually all Matt on the album itself.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, Joe's just recently joined us because we coming up for the shows to this of the album. We had to have two guitarists. Sadly, we lost him along the way, and he didn't. He didn't do anything on the album. We tried to get him to, do some tracks for over a year. We tried and tried and tried and tried, and just wasn't into it anymore. So we gave him every opportunity and said, "Okay, well, we're just going to, roll ahead with Matt's stuff. And do you want to jump in?" And he just wouldn't. So yeah, we got to a point that was just like, "Look, we can't delay this any longer." So Matt just had to go back and do all of Tim's sections and do all the solos and everything else too. But yeah, Joe, mixed and mastered and pulled everything together for us. And then, of course, being obviously quite familiar with the track and pretty good with working with his brother, it was he was a pretty easy choice when it came to ask if he was up for the challenge. He was like, "Hell yeah!" We were like, "Hell yeah!"
Yeah, great.
Such a good guitarist, and so yeah, that's we've only had the 2 shows with him so far, but it went really really well. So yeah, we're pretty chuffed.
Oh, good to hear, man. That's cool.
Yeah.
Deceased to State, you got the guitar hammer-ons in the intro. There's some like little black metal sort of bits, rock and thrash kind of elements. A little bit.
It's nice to have some of that like old school stuff rolling through. Matt was chuffed with it because he gets to do double solos before there's even like any vocals. So he was like super chuffed with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the one that's a follow-up to Humble Abode from the self-titled album. Yeah, so it's the haunted house sort of like type scenario with once again a whole lot of violence and brutality going on.
Yeah. Very good. Yeah. Does the band share music recommendations with each other at all? Like, do you guys talk what you're listening to?
A bit in the piece. Yeah, probably more so. Probably more Matt and Dave. Rob and I are both a bit more old school and enjoy like traditional sort of death metal origin bands from back in the day. I don't listen to a lot of new stuff, to be honest. And occasionally something new catches my attention. I'm like, ooh, and I'll jump on that. But it's more your old faves from the 80s and 90s. It's staples for us guys, or for Rob even older. But probably more Dave and Matt in that situation. But which is good because it's primarily the driving force now for bringing music together. So yeah, that's good.
That's cool. Track 8, Meet the Meat. Your vocal like melodies and rhythm in that one's really awesome. Across the board, but particularly on this one. Like you were saying before, how the other guys go, "Oh, we're going to move this or whatever." Like, do they ever say, "Oh, we want vocals in this bit"? Like, how do you kind of approach a song when you're putting it?
Yeah, look, they'll give me the tracks, and then because that's usually the way the process goes. Is like the music's already written, and I've got like a bunch of songs all ready written out. I'll have a listen to it, and then I'll like play with some of the lyrics over the top. It's like, yeah, that one fits, or it doesn't really fit, or I can make it fit. I give it a bit of a nudge here and there. So I'll have my idea of what I think works, and then when I get into the studio, as I said, Matt was always there with me, and he's like, "Well, how about you try something different on this bit, or try and like chop a few words here so you can make it a bit more snappy and punchy, just in less is more sort of like type scenario." So it was really good working with him, and also it was the same guy that I recorded the vocals with for Snuff out at Beveridge Road Studios, Mark, and he was great too. He's got all his ideas about what to do stuff. So between the three of us, it was a little bit of a collaboration on how the vocals will be laid out, and yeah, ultimately what we came up with, as I said, I'm pretty comfortable with.
Yeah, that's great. Track 9, Street Art, another blisteringly fast one. What's Street Art about?
Street art is about a killer who's essentially like creating street art by mutilating bodies and stringing them up all over the city for the general populace to discover. And it's like I suppose like a door bank, just going around after hours and leaving people on display here and there, to like freak out the city and whatever to do. It's like a little portfolio collection of gore.
That's cool. And then the last track, You Bleed, I Feed. The vocals I could make out sound nice and gory in that one.
Yeah, that was my homage to one of my favourite authors of all time, a guy called Brian Lumley. He did a series called Necroscope, which is a vampire series, and I'd have when I do my vocals or my songs, not my vocals, my songs, I try and come up with different themes. I mean, it's easy to get stuck into the same thing of going, okay, well, let's just go, killer, victim, and brutal. And it's like, try and mix and match. Like, I've got zombie song or werewolf song or whatever. And I've never really written a vampire song. And I wanted to do a bit of a homage to Lumley for the Necroscope series, since it's been so influential. Like, Dead Speak album was like named after one of his books. My dogs were named from characters in his books. There's so many things in my life that have been influenced from reading. It was fantastic. So yeah, that was my little homage to him and the way that he the vampire mythos sort of like works in his books is a bit of a nod to that. So yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, Sins of the Father's out October 4th, and were there any more singles or videos? You were saying we'll hear the title track, eh?
Yeah, Sins will be the next one, which I think is due to be released in the next week or two. I'd have to check the schedule and see what's happening there, but that's the next one. We have had some conversations about pulling something together for a video, but it hasn't eventuated yet. And we'll just have to see how that plays out. If we have time to pull something together before then, or if we end up just doing videos or something. Yeah, it's just all in timing and trying to get us all together at the same time, because everyone's got their own lives and things going on, so it gets a bit hectic.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So yeah, whatever we can manage, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. That's cool, man. So what's next for Abramelin? You got shows coming up on the back of the album, yeah?
Yeah, we've got there's a festival in Canberra next month that we're doing, and then it looks like we're going to be doing swing shows in November. There'll be an announcement coming around that soon. At least Brizzy, Sydney, Melbourne at this stage. So we've just done Melbourne and Adelaide. Probably try and swing down to Tas again at some point. I don't know when we're going to get to WA before you ask.
Yeah.
It's just like logistically to get 5 guys, sound guy over there, costs and everything else to it. Just unless you can sort of cover that stuff and hopefully sell some merch and shit, because it's death metal. It's not there's a lot of money in it. A couple of pesos here and there. So it's all for the love. But we got to do things that make sense. I mean, look, it's we absolutely loved it. And we had such a great time in Perth last time with that. So it's if we can make it happen, we'll make it. But yeah, that's the priority at the moment. Getting a bit of a national tour happening to support release, and once that happens, then we'll I don't know, see what next year brings.
Yeah, cool, man. Awesome. Well, look, it's a killer album. Links below, everyone. Check it out. Simon, thanks very much for your time. It's been good to chat, man.
Thank you so much. Much appreciated.
Thanks, everyone.